Or so what's up, YouTube? It's a nice in here, back with another video. And I want to speak about outgrowing your environment and outgrowing yourself, really, because in a sense, like, you are a reflection of the environment that you've been around. And in many ways, one thing that I always had trouble with and dealing with was separate myself from everything that's around me. And especially when you're trying to grow, let's say people that be in these terrible situations, growing up in these terrible situations, and they having a hard time outgrowing it because subconsciously, like, their mind is still in this negative space. They may be having a real desire to outgrow and just do better with their life, like me, like, but you are being constantly dragged down, not consciously, but unconsciously. You're being dragged back down to lower behaviors and lower spaces. And that's why they always say, like, when you are trying to elevate, you gotta either, for one, you gotta go into solitude, you gotta get away from everybody, or you gotta cut everybody off. I'm not the cutting off type of person. I wouldn't dare do that to people, even though, like I said, in some cases and circumstances it's needed. Especially when people, let's say, for example, some people can't see you as anything greater than what you are currently at this moment. And no matter what you show them, you can have superpowers. They'll still think you that same person, that same lame person you was, or that same person that could have stand on their own 2 feet, and they keep referring back to that person, even though you may have shown that you can do something more greater. And those are the type of people you must cut off and get, like move around, move around away from. Like, that's how I kind of am. Like I said, when people have to keep putting you in that same box, you got to move away from it. You got to move away. You got to get away from it, because that type of thinking will always lead to you coming to still be that same person they think you are. Their perspective of who you are and who you're supposed to be. And if you don't get away from that, you will perish, literally. And then that's kind of why, like I said, I'm my first option. I always go into solitude. I love solitude. I just love being by myself. Like I said, and that's kind of just the way I was raised. It's kind of like how my family do things. We all like being by ourselves and in our own world, and to a certain extent that do hinder our relationship. But that's just like, that is my default. That is my default with a lot of things. About how I have fun. I like being by myself. Look, I'm sitting there yesterday. I'm just in my room, just that boy, just having a whole concert. I'm like, if it's ghost around, if my ancestors around, if somebody around, they probably seeing me and that boy like, yeah, dancing, rapping, and everything. But that's just who I am as an individual. I just love being by myself, because that's just my space that I just love, expressing myself in, and just being a state of just joy. But but for me to ever grow, like, that space is there for me to get out any negative emotions. Like, that's why I love my solitude so much, because let's say these older people, or your environment, not even say older people, your environment is not conducive for you to express your, let's say some of them demons or shadows inside of your life, and you have to retreat into this, this solitude, or you have to get away from people. That's why, I guess that's probably why some people always try to move out the city and go to a whole different city and start a new life, because they perceive and they think that this city that they live in is a problem, when in actuality it's really just the environment, also just what they are personally allowing inside their own type of space. Like I said, but that's how, like I said, some people got to go to a different city to experience that, and I can't sit there and talk down on it, but that's just what I perceive other people to do. But yeah, some people are always, the world is oppressive. Let me say that. The world is always oppressing you and trying to make you conform and make you have to fit in. And especially, and a lot of people don't ever really feel the urge to do anything greater than what they already done or their life. And that's why a lot of people stay in the hood, they all like stay in the ghetto. And people will shun you for wanting to do better with your life. And they try to make you feel bad, or try to make you feel like, you looking down on them, when really they looking down on themselves and they really jealous. And this is not speaking from my own experience. This is from things that I hear and what people say to me. And when I be talking to people, because I just love talking to people. When people tell me about their life, I be so happy. Like, I guess in a way, I'm on this part of the spiritual journey where I feel like I'm everybody. So when I hear people tell stories, I just vicariously jump into the, their body and their own life, and I experience everything they experience. So I just like hearing people. I love when people share their stories with me. But when people share stories about how like their family members are jealous and deceitful and trying to find every way to take them down like that's like that's like me getting ready for war, and I'm just getting prepped up with all this information. That's why I love listening to everybody. I love hearing people speak. I love hearing information. I love when people talk to me. I just like being able to vicariously live through people, and I just take on these experiences. Of course, I'm gonna make my own mistakes and live my own path, but I love hearing people talk, and that's why you know when I hear those type of stories, they reaffirm me that the path I'm walking down. And let's say whenever I feel I'm being oppressed by an individual or even just places, it's time for me to move on to the next experience. It's time for me to regroup. Regroup and get my mind right, so I don't allow myself to be, so I don't allow my light to be diminished in these type of environments and spaces. And that's kind of also the mindset that I have when I'm dealing with like my purpose. When I feel that, you know, I guess I'm to the point right now where my intuition is working, like it's automatic enough. So it's like when I know it's time to move, it's time to move. I can't just sit here and neglect myself and neglect the purpose that I feel I'm supposed to be on. And not even say feel, I know I'm supposed to be on, because I think I'm beyond feeling it and I'm beyond believing. It's more about knowing what I'm supposed to be doing and knowing that I need to be on, this certain type of pathway to get to where I need to go in the appropriate amount of time that I want. So usually when I feel my intuition be like, Kevin, you need to get focused on this. You need to get focused on this. You need to call them people. You need to create this list. You need to create these guidelines for whatever you got planned in the future, because you already know what you're planning, what you need to do. Get on it. I say the longer you sit in BS with that, the longer you're gonna keep going through the perpetual cycle of just suffering, right? And this is me speaking in ego terms, using my intuition with my ego, and this is not me spiritual. Like when I'm spiritual, like I said, I just be existing. I just be letting things happen, right? Life is simply just unfolding, and you just really experiencing things as your day go by. Like that's why I don't really have no expectations. I have my dreams and my goals, but like I said, the universe, the divine mother may step in one day and be like, "You're not about to do that," and I have to be able to accept that with a smile on my face, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. But yeah, it's okay to outgrow your environment. You should never allow the environment to keep, to kind of box you into where you're supposed to be at. I think a lot of people in the ghetto think like that a lot. Like they grew up in poverty and they just believe that they deserve poverty, and the poverty is all that they will ever have. And I grew up in poverty. And I can't accept that. I could accept when I was younger, that's just what I went through, and that was just my life. But as I get older, and this ambition that is coming out of me, I don't know. Like I said, I was never ambitious. I was the hopeful kid, but the ambition is starting to spiritually. My ambition has always been high. Like I always want to attain a lot of things spiritually. Of course, that don't cause me to be egotistical at times. Well, it caused me to be egotistical at times, but I always try to keep it tame. But my ambition in the physical world is growing, and even like I just feel powerful. I feel like I can do anything. I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, you cannot allow the universe, because even though the universe, we speak in the universe, it's God, and wanting good things for you, the universe can have a negative aspect, and it can be oppressive. So yeah, you cannot allow that oppressive aspect of the universe and life to stop you. So yeah, if you like the video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Thank you. I'm a handsome nigga.